Welcome to Creating Disney Magic with Lee Cockerell, lessons in leadership, management, and customer service. You can create magic too. I'm your host, Jody Mayberry, and of course, we've got Lee Cockerell with us, the retired executive vice president of Walt Disney World. Lee, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Jody. Good to see you. Yeah.
Well, we have not mentioned it, even though it was big news when it was announced that Disney has announced a new theme park in the Middle East. My goodness, that was quite a big breaking story when that came out.
Yeah, I was surprised. I had I never heard them talk about that in the past, but apparently they must have cut a pretty good deal with the government over there going to pay for it. So Disney will end up getting royalties without any investment, which is a pretty good deal. And that's a huge population, and there's certainly the income. Visitors have the income to make that kind of trip and to go there. And it's like good to see. Yeah, great.
Yeah, well, many years ago, you were involved in the opening of a brand new park with Euro Disney, now known as Disneyland Paris. And then after that, Lee settled in and was at Disney World from then on. Would you, if you were still with Disney, would you want to be on an opening team again like you were in Paris?
Oh yeah, I think back when you get the chance to do something like that, you should take it because even though it's really hard and you really want to sleep for about a year after it's over, the stress and the pressure and getting it done and deadlines and you learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about organizational structure, how to get things done, how important it is to hire the right people, how important training is when you're going into another country where nobody knows anything about Disney, and how you treat the people so that we can deliver that same quality of attention that the guests expect all around the world, because even people from Europe and Middle East and Asia and all over have been to Disney World. So it's not like you can go in there and have a less quality service. You got to deliver that. But I learned so much. I mean, it's unbelievable. And learn to deal with all those different languages. We had to do everything in 5 languages, menus, front desk, check in for Spanish people and Italians and the British and the French and the Germans. It was going. Yeah, I was just I found out a lot of things I didn't know that I had to learn pretty quick because I had no idea about how much difficulty some of that stuff would be, because you get into everything, getting the product, where are you going to get strawberries, where are you going to get, I mean, here we sit in a nice little comfortable place. We know our country, we know the shipment, and all of a sudden, brand new, never been built, never been done. Uh, I would say for anybody listening today, take every advantage of an opportunity like to do something really new like that in your life. And that's what I tell graduates today. Well, when you graduate, get out of your village, go to New York, go to Chicago, go to Paris, go see the world, and you're going to learn so much it'll be to your advantage when you come back, and it'll help you in your career. Just that exposure, what you're going to learn, the experience. And by the way, every experience today is you go anywhere, it's people from all over the world there. Uh, because everybody, the middle class around the world is growing dramatically, and the income, and people have the money, and so you're going to run into people from every country around the world when you go anywhere. Whether you go even if you go to Oklahoma, you probably run into some Chinese or Russians or somebody, and because the world's gotten small, so people are traveling. Tra- Travel has gotten much cheaper than it used to be. So the more you can know about the world, the better off you'll be with your career and with the kind of decisions you make. You'll have a lot more information to make good decisions about people, about how to lead people and how to manage an organization and how to think about the bottom line and quality and all the different rules and regulations that are in every country around the world. So You may not think you're learning much. When you come home, you'll know, boy, you really, and I would say every young person, and it doesn't have to be to go to open a park. It can go to a big city and get a job. That'll be just like an opening for you when you're brand new and you're 21 years old and you're in New York City or you're in LA or you're in San Francisco. You're going to learn rapidly, and it's going to pay off for you. It's going to provide you with a lot of knowledge and exposure, and you're going to. It, I think we always say that's the best way to get rid of bigotry and racism is travel. Go live where the people are, get to know them, and you'll find out everybody's the same. So it will help you dramatically. I recommend it. Yeah.
It's interesting to hear Lee talking about that. I've been going through some volumes of the Main Street Leader in the roughly when you make it this far in the Main Street Leader in the early volume 40 through 44, somewhere in there, Lee is talking a lot about his career and the steps that he took. And Lee, you did a lot of that where there was an opportunity and you just went for it, even though it meant moving your wife again, even though it meant selling a house at a loss, even though it meant uprooting your son one more time. You went for a lot of those big opportunities when they came up.
Yeah, I did. We started off there in Washington, D.C., then went to Chicago, then went to New York City, then we went to upstate New York, then to Los Angeles, and then to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and then to Philadelphia, then back to Chicago, then back to Washington, and then to Massachusetts, and then finally Disneyland Paris and Orlando. That was our little trip. And it was people say, where's the place you loved living the most? I said, we really liked everywhere. You know, you spend most of your time at work and home anyway. You go see the sights and you do what you do, but that's where most of your life is. And we enjoyed it. We enjoyed all those places. It's I mean, we can remember some of the hassles of shopping in New York or taking the subway or some of those things that people don't particularly love, but it's all an experience. And when you're young, especially, it doesn't bother you very much. You know, the excitement of being in New York for me was like, whoa, where am I? How did I get here? And yeah. And see, you're learning so much when you go to these different projects. I was working at the Waldorf Astoria, one of the best hotels in the world, and I'm going like, and I don't know anything. I got to really pay attention here before they figure it out. And so it's just everything. You just learn about everything, even when you're not trying to. It just happens to you. You know, I got off the subway every morning at 53rd Street in Lexington. I stopped at the shoe shine guy on the corner every few days, got my shoes shined for 60 cents. I remember back, my shirts had to be done into the laundry because I was working at the Waldorf. You got to look sharp, man. Shirts were 32 cents back then. Now they're about $5 to get your shirts ironed. And just thinking back about all those times of, I left my home in the morning. I walked to the bus, took the bus to the metro, took the metro to 53rd Street, then walked walked the rest of the way to work. And it seemed exciting at the time, but and maybe it's because I was only 24 years old. So, but yeah, take the chance to have as many experiences as you can. They really are educational. I mean, it's like going to school.
How did you get past the idea of I should finally settle down, or we already own a house, or the type of things that normally tie someone to an area?
I don't know. We just, it was, I think part of it was I wanted to get promoted. And all those jobs to get promoted, you had to move because the hotels were in different cities. And and luckily Priscilla had moved a lot with her dad in the Navy. They'd moved many, many times. I think she's moved a total of 11 with me and 9 with her dad. 20 times she's moved. She moved her senior year of high school, which she's not quite recovered from. And Actually the military stopped doing that now. They've learned their lesson that they can't. It really takes a toll on the family to move in the summer. They're trying to get people moved in the summer before, not in the middle of the school year and things like that. But I guess that was it. And Priscilla, she has that ability to, she doesn't mind being alone because I was working a lot, but she likes to read and she likes to do her thing. And so I made sure I spent time with her when on my days off and when on the weekends, and she didn't leave me. She stayed. So I don't know. It's just I we would move again right now. We've been in Orlando 32 years, but if we were younger, we would move. We'd move to France. And but as we've gotten smarter now because at our age we got to think about healthcare, and that's the big that healthcare is a big deal, and especially on Medicare with all the prices of everything. So we just pull back on that idea. It seemed like a good idea, and it is when you're 40. But when you're 80, it's like, okay, I think we'll just stay here. And we've accumulated so much junk, we couldn't move anyway. I told Daniel, I'm sorry, I apologize in advance for all this mess you're going to have to deal with after we're gone. And somebody called me the other day, said, you want to sell your house? I said, no, just talk to my son when I'm gone. Maybe he'll sell it to you. That's, because you kind of get locked in with your stuff and routine and family. And this is, our home in Orlando is the central place for our whole family. The kids all grew up here. They all grew up here. We've been in this house before they were born. So a lot of that stuff comes back that it's comfortable. It's easy to live in Orlando. I guess I'll put it that way. It's easy to live here because we got a good airport and you can get to the beach in an hour. So that's it. We don't know why we're here, but we are.
Well, it is a great place to be. And it is interesting that Priscilla's dad moved so much for work. And then Priscilla was willing to do it. Priscilla's sister moved a lot with the National Park Service. So it seems like that, even though when you're younger, that can be disruptive, but it made them as adults willing to do the same thing.
Yeah, Daniel wasn't happy a couple of times. He got over it in a week or two. You know,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
when he was 9 or 10, we were moving. He thought he was going to miss us. All his buddies. We actually let him stay in Chicago a couple extra weeks to finish school, so with friends because that was a hard time. And I remember when Cherry's daughter, Kate, when they moved, oh my God, we were at their house that weekend. And I thought she was going to murder her father for moving. She was like 12 or 13. Oh, it was the end of the world. And she moved to Miami from Santa Fe, and it turned out to be best thing that ever happened. She loved it after 2 weeks. Kids get over it pretty quick. Yeah.
Well, our friends at Magical Vacation Planner, they probably can't help you move, but they can help you travel and have a great vacation. You can reach them at 407-442-2694. Let them know Lee Cockerell sent you, and they may or may not treat you better, but I would like to think they would. Actually, they treat everyone so nice, they're probably not going to treat you any better because Lee sent you. Well, I mentioned the Main Street Leader earlier, and if you're interested in that, check out go to mainstreetleader.com and you can find out more about it, or it's right there on cockerellthor.com. Until next week, go out and create magic for others.